Hi, good friends of Saint Anthony. We are today in a special place. We are in the corridor, the main corridor of the Friary of the Basilica of Saint Anthony. On this side, we have the chapel of the Friary, and then we have also the library. And on this side, we have a row of cells, a row of rooms of some of the friars of the Basilica. We have the cell of Father Pio, Father Luciano, Egidio, and so on. And there is also my room. With the coming of Christmas, a huge and beautiful nativity scene is set up in the main cloister of the Basilica, the Magnolia cloister. I mean, from Christmas Eve to the end of January, thousands and thousands of pilgrims stop in front of this creche and admire it and pray in front of it. Moreover, we friars set also up a much smaller yet cozy nativity scene in our refectory for ourselves. But you see, I also like to prepare my own little creche inside my room. Let's go and see it. This small little creche reminds me of the real meaning of Christmas. The real presence of God's incredible and never-ending love for us, out of which we receive the gift of Jesus' presence among us. However, this little creche also reminds me of an important episode of my life which I would like to share with you. When I was in my 20s, before entering the conventual Franciscan friars, I belonged to a group of young people called the Friends of St. Francis. Our group was guided by a Franciscan friar from the Basilica of Saint Anthony, Father Giuseppe Ungaro, who, despite being 99 years old, is still very bright and sprightly and continues to preach retreats and spiritual conferences. Our group looked after some 50 destitute people who lived in the slums on the outskirts of Padua. We went to see them more or less twice a week, bringing them food and other necessities. We also gave their children private lessons in those subjects in which their grades were very low, very poor. Among these people there was an elderly man called Gigetto. He lived in an old dilapidated building and supported himself by selling objects he found in the nearby waste dump. Every time we went to see him, he always insisted in offering us his terrible tasting red wine, served in dirty glasses which had not been cleaned since God knows when. One day, shortly before Christmas, 4 of us went to see him and, as usual, we had to drink his horrible red wine. This time, however, in the middle of his kitchen table, there was something quite unusual. This was a battered chalk statue of the baby Jesus. It was more or less 30 centimeters long, with fading colors here and there. And Gigetto told us, "I found it in the waste dump this morning. Don't you think it was a coincidence to find such a statue just a few days before Christmas?" After this, he stood up and asked us to kiss the small statue. How could we refuse? Well, you may not believe this, but I never felt the desire to become a Franciscan friar more strongly than in that precise moment. That battered but still smiling statue of the baby Jesus seemed to say, "Come with me." Gigetto certainly didn't know it, but in that moment he was giving me the best gift I have ever received. Christmas can be said to be the season of gifts. And the reason for this is that Christmas itself was created by a gift. In fact, in St. John's Gospel we read, God so loved the world that he gave his only Son, so that everyone who believes in him may not perish, but may have eternal life. Saint Anthony himself experienced Christmas as one of the most moving feasts of the year, and in front of the manger he exclaimed, "O poverty, O humility, the Lord of all things is wrapped in swaddling clothes. The King of angels lies in a manger. Be shamed, insatiable greed, be shattered, human pride." As we celebrate the hope of Christmas, let us all be determined to make the coming New Year a time when we work to make a difference for others. Let us show care, love, compassion to whoever Jesus places in our lives each day, even in our small gestures of kindness and concern. It will make the world a better place. I wish you all a blessed Christmas and a Happy New Year.